Ve'ela hamishpatim asher tasim lefneihem, and these are the laws that you should put before them. This is the opening pasuk to this week's Parashat Mishpatim, and it is a tiny little verse, but there is so much that we can glean from it. And one thought that occurred to me is that this pasuk is telling us something about the relationship between religion on the one hand and ethics on the other. Religion being a system or a set of laws and commandments, and ethics being that which is expressed by those laws. Values such as righteousness, justice, holiness. And the question is Judaism as a religion connected to ethics? Are the laws that are being given because they're good, because they're ethical, or are they being given just because you're supposed to obey them? Right? And I think that even though the Torah does not give us a word for religion, and it doesn't give us a word for ethics, it never tells us what the nature of religion is, how it's defined, or how ethics is defined the way you would find it in a philosophy class. There are ways to understand indirectly from how the Torah presents things what it's trying to say about the relationship between religion and ethics. Now, in last week's Parsha, in Parshat Yitro, we had a little bit of a hint to the nature of the relationship between religion and ethics when we were given the Aseret HaDibrot, when we were told about the giving of the Aseret HaDibrot. If you look at the Aseret HaDibrot, a lot of the commandments are comprehensible. They're entirely understandable, right? To honor your father and mother, to not steal, to not kill, to not commit adultery. If God was giving us commandments just for the sake of us obeying those commandments, he probably would have given us random ones, not ones that we would approve of and like and want to sign up for. He might have said something like juggle every Tuesday or something like that, right? But he gave us ones that we can wrap our minds around, that we can clearly see are related to ethics and speak to our own sensibility and understanding of how society should work, establishing that there is a very close relationship between the laws of Judaism and ethics. And then in this week's Parsha, we have this little verse, Ve'ela hamishpatim asher tasim lefneihem. I am putting it here before you. Now, it's not only in this week's Parsha, but basically in all the other places where Hashem is, or Moshe is presenting laws, he starts out by saying something to the effect of, I am putting it here before you. And a famous biblical exegete named Arnold Ehrlich sees this phrase, before you, as meaning subject to your approval. You guys are smart. You're a species that knows how to think. You're a species that has these sensibilities and understandings of how society should work. And so I put these laws, not these random laws, not something that you can't understand, that you see as entirely unconnected to your sensibilities and your way of understanding things, but I put them before you subject to your review and your approval. And so we see that in general, in this week's Parsha, that there's a very, very close connection between religion, between Judaism on the one hand and ethics on the other. And really all you have to do is look deeply at what is presented in front of you in order to see the goodness, the righteousness, the holiness within it. Shabbat Shalom.